Okay, so it's time we mount the motherboard on the robot, and there's just a couple of things we have to look out for. It's really fundamentally really simple, actually, but it is admittedly annoying because you're going to have to get the spacers underneath this motherboard while attaching it to the chassis. There is one thing to be careful of. It's the right screw. You'll notice actually in the pile of hardware that you've got, there's a number of screws, and some of them look pretty darn close together. For example, these two, but they aren't the same, and we need to make sure we choose the right one. So if we get out the ruler here, we can see that one of these, if I put it just at the base of the head, it's up a little too far there, that it's 3/4 of an inch, and there's another one that's in the kit which looks pretty similar when you're just grabbing it, but it's actually not. It's 5/8 of an inch. So we really need this longer one, this 3/4 of an inch. And we're also going to need this small spacer here, which is a 1/2 inch. And you'll know you got the right one because if you stick this in, the shorter screw, it barely sticks out. I mean, obviously, going through the motherboard, there won't be enough material there to actually make it stick. Whereas if we take the 3/4 of an inch one, it sticks out all the way. And if we put it through the motherboard, you can see there's ample amount of material left that we can actually screw it safely into the chassis. So that being said, you're going to need 4 of these, and you're going to need 4 of these. And I'm going to find those very quickly here. I'll set them on the back of my robot. And then the 4 longer screws. Okay. And the 4th one's eluding me right now. I'll put it, oh, there it is, I think. Just got underneath the tail ball. There we go. So I got 4 of these 3/4 inch screws, and I've got 4 of these 1/2 inch spacers. Now, the annoying part about this, like I said, is that it's a little bit of a hassle. You have to set the screw in. I'll start in this corner here, so it goes all the way through. And then you're going to put the spacer on. Now, I'm going to hold this just for a moment. We're already, in this particular case, filling this hole up with these assembly coming up from the bottom. There's a good chance that you have one of these 2 holes already filled as well. Or maybe an alternative. I'm going to choose, you can choose any of the available holes that are up here. I'm going to choose, in this case, the second one. And this is what I mean about being a hassle. I've got to somehow get this screw in and started, but I don't want to turn it very much. I just want it barely in there because I'm going to have to be able to manipulate this board to put the other hardware in. So now I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll lift it up, and then I got to slide the spacer underneath it, which is admittedly a challenge. And now I'm going to get the second one in loosely, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to slide it in here. I think you got the idea. And you just kind of have to work your safe way around. In each case, loosely putting in the screw until you have all 4 of them kind of in place. And then you can finally tighten it down. I should have stressed this at the beginning, not at the end. But you'll notice that my USB is facing the front of the robot. And when I'm at a sensor here, it'll be over the top of that sensor. And the reason why I put it on the front and not at the rear is ultimately when we get a battery pack on the back here, it's going to block any access to plugging in the USB from the back. So please make sure your USB is toward the front of the robot, and give these guys a tighten down when you're all set, and you are good to go. So I'll see you soon.